Fact: you don't need a traditional sketchbook to be creative. Welcome back. I'm Christine. This is Mike. Forget about the boring sketchbooks because I'm about to show you some sketchbook alternatives that'll make you excited to create. The basic sketchbook comes in a bunch of different sizes with a variety of paper for whatever medium your little heart desires. You've got spiral bound, perfect bound, mixed media, watercolor, alcohol markers, square sketchbooks, and these little cuties. I love these, by the way. But what all of these sketchbooks lack is a flexible canvas. A canvas that you can tailor to yourself and the way that you want to create, which is why I love the first alternative. It's an accordion sketchbook. I found this little accordion sketchbook on Amazon and discovered how fun it is. It gives you the option to combine multiple spreads into one piece of artwork or to use it as a normal book. You can use it horizontally or vertically. And you aren't limited by a spine or the size of the page. Your only limitation is your imagination. The best part is that you can do everything that you've done on the front of the book to the back. You can give your accordion sketchbook a theme or just let it be as chaotic as you like. I've been obsessed with tigers lately, so I've decided to make mine all about big cats. That way I can focus on tigers and also explore other wild cats. So about 4 weeks ago, I started working in this sketchbook. I wanted to see if it could be a sketchbook alternative that I personally like. You and I are a lot alike, so I know that if something works for me, it'll probably work for you too. The funny thing is that this accordion sketchbook is marketed as a photo album on Amazon. So at first, I wasn't sure if the paper would be good for making art. But to my surprise, it works just as well as any regular sketchbook paper. You wouldn't be able to use alcohol markers or watercolor on this, but everything else should work perfectly fine. The texture is kind of like cardboard, and you can feel the little fibers when you run your hand across it. This makes the paper absorbent, which is what I really like about it. Absorbent paper like this one is great for acrylic paint markers. The paint markers soak into the paper, which means I can easily color on top of it with colored pencils. If you've ever used cheap copy paper, you've probably noticed that sometimes acrylic paint markers can dry with like a waxy finish. The waxy finish makes it really hard for colored pencils to color on top of. But if you're using a high quality paper or something a little bit more absorbent than copy paper, you won't have that problem. This paper is pretty strong and my markers just glide across it. There is one downside to using an accordion sketchbook. All of the paper is glued together in these little sections. Sometimes these creases get in the way when I'm drawing, but I've kind of learned to work around them. And here's the thing, accordion sketchbooks aren't just different, they're inspiring. Since all the pages connect, you can treat it like one giant canvas or break it into little story panels that flow together. They're perfect for experimenting too. You can doodle in one spot, paint in the next, and even start creating a collage. And because all of the pages are next to each other, everything you create just feels like one continuous piece of art. And that's why this sketchbook alternative will inspire you to continue to create. I'm wondering though, did you know that you can make your own accordion sketchbook and customize it however you want? All you need is a few sheets of your favorite paper that are cut to the same size. You can even combine different types of paper to create something truly unique like mine. Don't be afraid to get creative and upcycle books and packaging for your cover. I used a piece of this monster packaging for mine because I want to experiment making all types of fun monsters in this one. So be on the lookout for this homemade sketchbook in future videos. I linked the tutorial for this accordion sketchbook down below if you'd like to try making one on your own. But don't run away just yet because we have to talk about the next idea. This one completely breaks the rules and it's one that I use all the time for myself because I love the freedom that comes with it. It's loose sheets of paper. Boring, right? Wrong. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Using a loose sheet of paper is exciting because it means you get to use whatever you have around you. No more searching for the perfect sketchbook, no more annoying spine or center crease to get in the way of making your art, and no more excuses. If you're a mixed media artist like I am, I love combining acrylic paint with colored pencils, and you know that paper quality is key. We could sit here and debate what the best type of paper is, but the best type of paper is what's best for you. Now, of course, if you're painting or creating artwork on paper, I suggest using something archival so it can preserve your art. Another reason why I love painting and creating things on pieces of paper is because if I decide to scan a piece of artwork and sell it, I don't have an annoying crease going down the center of my art. It saves a lot of time not having to remove that in Photoshop. Creating on paper will leave you with a lot of loose sheets of paper like this, so I just store everything inside of this manila folder. I know it's not fancy, but it's a system that works for me. I put the pieces that I hope to eventually sell in plastic to help keep them safe. I'm also guilty of ripping out pages from my sketchbook that I don't particularly like, but I end up storing all of them in here. And when you have enough pieces of artwork stored in this folder, you will have enough pieces of art for the next idea. The next idea is what's usually referred to as a smash book, but instead of putting everything like receipts and tape and pictures in it to kind of like create a journal, it's a smash book full of art. So it's an art smash book. I hope that makes sense. There are a lot of ways that you can make your own DIY art smash book. The easiest way is to use an old sketchbook like I have here, and then take your old pieces of art and glue and tape it inside. The art smash book is kind of like a mix between a scrapbook and a sketchbook, but with a more casual, anything goes style. Instead of carefully sketching in it, a smash book is meant to be spontaneous and messy in the best way. Mine is full of unfinished sketches and artwork that I wanted to throw out, but I decided to keep. This is a place where I put color swatches, doodles, and rough sketches of characters, or it's where I warm up before I start filming a video. I call it my messy sketchbook because the point is spontaneity. It removes the intimidation of having a nice sketchbook. This is one that you can mess up and let it evolve without worrying about a finished product. I have no intentions of ever finishing this sketchbook because this is a place where I put things that are meaningful to me, or I've put sketches in that I might find meaningful in the future. But the best way to describe this sketchbook is that it's an evolution of me. It will continue to evolve with me throughout my art journey, and that's why this is one of my favorite sketchbooks. To make this kind of book, all you need to do is create some artwork on loose sheets of paper and use double-sided tape or a glue stick to stick it in. You can make it so the artwork folds out, overlaps, or tuck it inside of an envelope like I did with my Monster Universe map. This isn't just a sketchbook, it's a place I can keep coming back to for inspiration. I flip through its pages to revisit old ideas. All of these past sketches spark new projects I would have never thought of otherwise. Having everything gathered in one place feels so much better than juggling 5 half-finished sketchbooks or endlessly doom-scrolling through Pinterest for ideas. Some of these drawings are over 10 years old, and some were made just 10 days ago. And I love how they all sit side by side, reminding me how far I've come and how much more I can create. If you're the type of person to rip out bad art from your sketchbook and throw it away, I challenge you to save it and create your own art smash book. When you look back on this book 2 or 5 years from now, something inside of it might actually inspire your next project. The next idea might sound a little unusual, but I love it because it encourages you to make something every single day. It's a calendar, and it's definitely not boring. This one I'm showing you is big, but you can use a smaller one if that feels easier. Instead of using a calendar to schedule meetings or appointments, think of each little box as a tiny drawing space. Every day you get a fresh spot to sketch, doodle, or experiment with something new. The spaces are small on purpose. This isn't about creating masterpieces, it's about lowering the pressure and giving yourself permission to play. You could even draw the same thing every day if you want. Since the areas are tiny, it feels fun instead of intimidating, and this helps to build a habit of daily creativity. If a calendar feels too bulky or awkward, you could switch to something like a personal planner. My friend Chantel from Chantel Arts does this exact thing on her channel. Every day she fills in one section with a sketch, doodle, or a playful idea, and over time it builds into a collection of artwork. Creating on top of a calendar felt a little weird and awkward at first, but instead of tossing this sketchbook alternative aside, I stuck with it. It's no secret that I don't just sit down and create something amazing every single time. That type of pressure burns me out, especially when it comes to making YouTube videos. But when I give myself permission to just play, it gives my creative muscles a chance to rest and recharge. It's kind of like when you work out and you can only push so hard before you're in physical pain the next day. And then, you're probably like me and you're struggling to sit down or get up from a chair. In addition to getting burnt out, making physical art also leaves me in a lot of pain. I'm always leaning on my left arm, and you'll find me hunched over while I'm working most of the time. So letting myself make low-pressure art on a calendar like this not only relaxes my mind, but it relaxes my body too. Using a calendar as a sketchbook is also a really great idea if you want to participate in an art challenge like Inktober. The last sketchbook alternative will really get you thinking outside of the box. Well, more like outside of the bag. We'll get to that in a little bit. A few weeks ago, I came across this video where this creator shows us how to turn Trader Joe bags into a paper bag sketchbook. It's really cool and you should check it out. I was blown away by this giant paper bag sketchbook, but the only problem is that I don't go to Trader Joe's, so I won't have a bunch of Trader Joe's bags. But I do have a pile of Amazon bags that I've been saving just for this video. So let's make our own. I started by folding each bag in half and then in half again. I had about 5 of these bags and I did this to each one, and I continued to stack them on top of each other until they looked like this. They need to be the same size, so I just roughly cut each one down. You could measure yours to make it more accurate, but I just winged it. I needed to hold everything together, so I decided to cut down my largest envelope and glue it to the back. Then I glued each individual envelope together using scraps from earlier. Now, this part looks like it's easy, but it's actually not. I had to hold down each section to make sure it stuck before moving on to the next section. When I got to the cover, I added more glue, and then I folded that over to complete the book. You can tell that this process was a struggle based on how my workspace is slightly askew. It's worth it though, I promise. Don't give up. Now that everything is glued together, I can trim it with scissors again. Now I have this really fun, quirky little sketchbook with hidden compartments and pages that fold out and flip closed. It's such a surprise to see how much variety this sketchbook has. There are so many different types of spreads to play around with. I didn't plan any of this out. This is just from randomly gluing each envelope together. This section has a hole in the middle because I didn't remove the label carefully, so I'm just gluing another scrap on top of it. The book is a little bit flimsy and delicate, and I wanted to make it more secure. We just so happen to have this other Amazon package that's been sitting by our door for months that we never opened. So we opened it up and I whisked away the packaging to create the cover of this book. This plastic is terrible for the environment, so I'm really glad that I found a way to upcycle it. This is a really bulky sketchbook and I needed a fun way to close it. So I just cut off another piece of this packaging. After gluing it on, I added Velcro to the other side, and now I've got the cutest little strap that holds my sketchbook snug and secure. The paper bag sketchbook is perfect for making art more fun because it feels different from a normal sketchbook. The brown textured pages take away the pressure of keeping things neat and perfect, so you can relax and just try things out. Markers, pens, and paint all look a little different on the paper, which makes it exciting to see what'll happen next. Here I have a sticker from the Cassie projects that I doodled around. I also added this cute childish bee to remind myself that this is a place to be free. I'm not making any masterpieces in this book. It's gonna be cute, it's gonna be cuddly, it might even look like a child created it, and that's okay. I can create whatever I like in here, and because there are so many layers in this book, I'm able to cut away at my doodles to make them pop out a little bit. This would be a great sketchbook to experiment with interactive art without the fear of messing up, because you can always easily make a new one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope these sketchbook alternatives inspire you to play, experiment, and see your art in a new way. Next time, we'll take some of these pages even further as I start to fill them with monsters from my universe. I just love making cute little monsters.